GenAI is a groundbreaking technology with the potential to drastically transform the banking industry. It provides an innovative solution that can redefine all aspects of the banking operations. Banks can achieve competitive advantage by delivering personalized service or boost their operational efficiency. This innovative technology allows banks to make insightful, data-driven decisions, manage the risk effectively, and improve the customer satisfaction. GenAI could be the key to unlocking new levels of success in the banking sector. While there are many areas of opportunity for utilizing the technology of GenAI, I would like to mention the most important ones, where GenAI makes significant impact in the banking industry. First, within the customer experience, GenAI is reshaping the customer experience. By analyzing large datasets, AI algorithms can provide personalized recommendations and services. Whether it's tailoring investment options or suggesting suitable financial products, this technology enables banks to offer more individualized and relevant solutions to their customers. This has a huge impact on the sales departments and the customer contact centers. Secondly, within the risk assessment and fraud detection, also known as KYC or Know Your Customer. In this crucial area for the banks, GenAI can support on the operational side. Machine learning algorithms can swiftly analyze patterns in transactions and flagging suspicious activities in real time. This significantly strengthens the security measures and minimizes the potential risk for both the customers and the bank. Third, but certainly not the last, where GenAI makes impact is within the compliance and regulatory policies. Compliance and regulatory adherence are paramount in banking. GenAI helps banks to stay compliant by continuously monitoring changes in regulations and swiftly adapting internal processes that ensures that they are and stay up to date. This reduces the risk of non-compliance and potential penalties. And this is just the tip of the iceberg on where GenAI can help banks to become more innovative and get a better operational efficiency and to become more competitive. A question which I often got from my clients is, how do I get strategic value out of my GenAI? At Cognizant, our typical advice is always to start your GenAI journey with a well-defined use cases. To create these use cases, we at Cognizant have a human-centric driven approach, where our team is focusing on driving value rather than doing something. We are seeing that in the financial market, most use cases are created for the operational excellence, like virtual assistants or chatbots, fraud detection, and regulation and compliance. To support the business growth, GenAI use cases are mostly made for mortgage management and social listening. To help our clients to prioritize these cases, we are making use of a diagram where we group the use cases into different categories: quick wins, strategic, tactical, and low priority. Having such an approach creates a more efficient view of your use cases and hence a better value out of your GenAI journey. So once the use cases has been defined and prioritized, it needs to be transformed into a productive solution. There are several factors to consider for a successful implementation, like your existing workflow integration, employee training, quality of data training, and test data. We also need to look at the customization and fine-tuning, continuously monitoring and evaluation. But most importantly, we need to closely consider the ethics, privacy and security measures of the implementation. To conclude, GenAI technologies are undergoing rapid advancements, showing immense potential to transform the business operation in the banking industry and create a unique value proposition. For banks aiming to maintain or increase the market share, it's advisable to integrate this advanced AI technology into existing applications and/or workflow. However, it's equally important to critically examine the benefits and potential risks.
Cognizant has designed a methodology and a cognitive framework to address the major opportunity of generative AI use cases. There are 4 main use cases. The first one is all about the Customer Experience Navigator, This is all about the creation of personalized customer and employee experiences by generating content that is tailored to the customer's preference and behavior. It can be used to create chatbots, virtual assistants, and other conversational interfaces that can interact with the customer in a natural and intuitive way. The second use case is all about the Enterprise Knowledge Navigator. It's all about generating insights from large volumes of data and providing decision support to business users. It can be used to create predictive models, anomaly detection systems, and other applications that can help businesses to make better decisions. The third is where GenAI acts as a process optimizer. This architecture is used to optimize business processes by generating recommendations for process improvements. It can be used to automate repetitive tasks, reduce errors, and improve efficiency. And lastly, we have the Development Lifecycle Navigator, an architecture which is used to accelerate software development by generating code, test cases, and other artifacts. It can be used to reduce the time and cost of software development, improve code quality, and increase productivity. NeuroAI is a good example for a service which offers a flexible, secure, scalable, and responsible way for businesses to harness the value of generative AI. It helps customers advance from identifying company-specific use cases to operationalize generative AI. Cognizant is amongst the first to launch an enterprise-wide generative AI platform designed to help customers to better understand, consume, and customize AI models that drive business outcomes. We have also learned that to support these use cases, we are often still required to combine narrow AI with generative AI. If processes are governed by regulation, policy, or legislation, then we need to be sure about the outcomes. As European citizens, we have a unique opportunity to lead in the field of generative AI. We are the first in the world to have an AI legislation. The European AI Act is for us all an opportunity to lead with AI in a responsible way.
GenAI, with its ability to understand human language, is revolutionizing how companies leverage customer feedback. Traditionally, data analytics tell us what users are doing, and user research tell us why they are doing it. However, it's not always easy to connect the two and to have the full picture. Generative AI can help us collect and process qualitative feedback like chat conversations, surveys, or interviews at scale, enabling business to take decisions with a deeper understanding of what users do and why they do it. All right, let's look at an example in the context of usability testing, where we showcase the efficiency of generative AI in gathering and analyzing user feedback at scale.
Start record. I like the UI because it's quite clean. When I'm selecting my coverage, I would like to see at first sight what does each coverage do. Generating follow-up questions.
Can you describe in more detail how would you like to see the coverage information so that is clear at first sight?
I would say that I've seen in other products in the past that they have a list that shows like in bold what's covered and what's not covered in every single, let's say, box. So that's what I would do maybe. I would just have like a consistent list.
Hello, this is Pablo from the research team. We have just gotten 200 feedback entries from our participants, and we can see how the AI has automatically generated 9 clusters from all the observations we got from the testing sessions. We can easily search by one of these auto-generated clusters. In this case, all this group, it's about new value scheme confusion, so users who have expressed confusion with this term, and we can see all the insights on the left that are related to this topic. Another thing we can do is a semantic search. We are going to write users who find differences between coverages unclear. And we can see how it has collected all the observations that have something to do with this query. So all of these users said that they find unclear the coverages. And here we can find at the end observation number 1, which is what our participant in the video just said. You just saw an example of how to use GenAI to moderate remote usability tests, providing us with much richer information from users at a massive scale. Imagine how similar systems can be applied at different stages of the product's lifecycle. During user research or marketing campaigns, GenAI can help us identify user needs and concerns in more representative numbers. After the product launches, we can track user satisfaction and areas for improvement with in-app feedback, moderated by AI. But GenAI will truly shine when interpreting in real time both what users do, collected via data analytics, and what users say, collected through virtual assistants or other feedback mechanisms. This individual analysis can then be automatically processed to extract nuanced insights from huge user bases. As a conclusion, I encourage companies to develop systems that engage in longer and more frequent dialogues with their customer base. Now we have the tools to listen and understand deeply at scale. With better and more qualitative customer intelligence, we can design better and more personalized products, increase customer satisfaction, loyalty, and cross-selling opportunities.
Here at Cognizant, we are preparing systems based on large language models that combine instructions, extended knowledge, and actions specifically tailored to be helpful in your specific enterprise context. We are combining classical with generative AI to bring you new solutions for old problems in bank, retail, pharma, and so on. These redesigned solutions are a glimpse of the future of intelligence, and we are excited and looking forward to seeing what we will build together with this technology. Multimodality is actually like a major axis along which large language models are getting better. Nowadays, not only we can generate images, but we can also see through images. It's quite remarkable that we can basically start plugging images into large language models alongside with text, and we can now access that information and use it. But it's not just about images, seeing them and generating them, but also, for example, about audio, so we can start hear them and speak to them. And that's all about communication, both verbal and non-verbal communication, like using the posture and the tone of voice. Can you imagine using it to provide a better service to your customer? Suppose that I'm interested in something more complex, something that requires the deeper knowledge that can, for instance, support a very important decision. It involves a conscious and deliberate thought process to gather data, to inquire data, to formulate and test hypotheses, to think through it before answering a specific question. It could take some time to do it, but Here, time is not so critical as quality or accuracy. This type of thinking is not ready to use as out of the box, but it's something that a lot of people here at Cognizant are really inspired by, and something that we are currently working on.
Over the period, we tried predicting the future by either creating it or inventing it. Taking the same narrative, we aim to predict how software development will look like with GenAI. SDLC principles are with us over 60 years or even more. What it did eventually, it made software development more structured and predictable. Late last year, when GenAI received the recognition and adoption it deserved, anything which can be expressed in language, either natural or system-generated, came to the forefront. Hence, GenAI-led SDLC or STLC could not be left behind. But don't just take our word for it. Leading analysts and more than 50% of IT leadership believe GenAI can have a huge impact on software development and engineering productivity. And when integrated across the entire life cycle, and with future iterations of GenAI, it will completely change how we and our enterprises think about producing software. Let's take a quick look how it spans compared to SDLC we practiced for a year. So if you walk with me left to right, at the top, you see what we have been doing excellently for years, and below, how we aim and aspire to be more augmented throughout the STLC. We as augmented humans can now autonomously generate stories with acceptance criteria, do policy adhered design and build. We can start with boilerplate codes, test data, cases can be generated. Catching issues earlier in the value chain is reality. And to end with, human-less, chat-based, personalized L1, L2, if not more. So irrespective of the phases and scale you are in, there is always an opportunity for engineering productivity gains. Obviously, if done right. Hence, we are slowly moving from STLC to augmented STLC. Yes, augmented STLC. Now, let's name few interesting possibilities. Whether it's existing code understanding and smart code deduplication across whole code bases, not individual files. If possible, no more technical debt. Or closing the software and operational loop by connecting operational metrics and real-time production behavior with ongoing engineering needs. Or leveraging reusable architecture in terms of reusable libraries, services, design systems, we have it covered. Now, how can we help? At Cognizant, we don't talk the talk, we walk the walk. We are always looking for ways to improve our engineering or developer productivity. Hence, all that we practice is infused with GenAI. And we are already helping various customers in their pursuit of productivity gains. We offer you Cognizant GenAI Development Lifecycle Navigator and the Cognizant Data and Intelligence Toolkit. It's a packaged offering for analysts, developers, testers, and all involved in STLC and STLC. That is the GenAI-driven tools you need. Whether it's assessing data health, generating DQ rules, autonomously generating glossaries, or maybe creating user stories, processing efficacies, enhancing AI/ML model, you will have the ability to improve data migration process, complex code conversions, and automate test case generation with us. And don't forget, beyond just improving coding speed and operational efficiency, there is a larger value in accelerating your change management and adoptions with GenAI. Be it quicker user manual generation, or creating a personalized SOPs, or modern knowledge bases, GenAI can help. In totality, when it comes to skill shortage, quick time to market, and giving back time for more creative works with likes of Copilots, Cody, Code Whisperer, Duet, Jasper, and many more COTS GenAI-based offering, a double-digit efficiency is waiting for you.
Cognizant has always been an early adopter of innovative technologies, as we have done with generative AI. We soon learned that the traditional way of working would not maximize the value that generative AI could bring to the enterprise. The purpose is to improve the quality, effectiveness, and efficiency in our knowledge work. Cognizant has developed a new methodology that consists out of 3 value streams and a 4-layer cognitive framework. The 3 value streams are data science and engineering, strategy and design, and compliance and ethics. In each of the 3 phases of the methodology, identify and assess, experimentation and production, the 3 value streams play an important role. Generative AI requires more than ever a collaboration amongst different disciplines. And for that reason, we have a 4-layered cognitive framework that helps us to architect and operate in an efficient way. Let's get into more detail. Paula, can you help us to understand what are the 2 key activities are in the use case identification?
In the past, artificial intelligence was mainly focused on standardization, automating tasks, creating efficiencies. With GenAI, artificial intelligence has advanced far beyond its earlier focus. Today, it is centered on improving human intelligence, creating a completely new way of interacting with technology. This introduces a novel challenge to the development of digital products and services. There is increased complexity and the need to advance quicker, but responsibly. That is why, during the first phase of our methodology, we ensure that we create a solid foundation enabling a multidisciplinary collaboration between our team and clients. Together, we identify and holistically assess one or several potential areas of opportunity for GenAI from a business, technology, and human perspectives. Within these areas, we collaboratively define and prioritize use cases through design research methods and a deep understanding of industry and technological possibilities or constraints. The outcome of our first phase is a roadmap for GenAI interventions that ensure inclusive, relevant, and impactful solutions. One of the most important aspects of GenAI products and services is enabling the creation of a context. LLMs are intelligent systems that will improve their decision-making and output based on the right frame of reference. The foundation of this context is the deep understanding of the end users and/or the people from whom we will be simulating a behavior, a mindset, or a decision-making. Inspired in design research methodologies, we have created a new technique called expertise mind mapping. This technique consists of a variety of design research methods, such as structured interviews, design ethnography, and context mapping. With this technique, we capture the tacit knowledge, needs, and expertise of people and translate them into decision trees, providing a comprehensive understanding of their cognitive models, how they execute tasks, the knowledge they draw upon, and the factors that they take into account to make decisions. Our expertise mind map structure enables us to create then the foundation of the LLM context. A sequence of actions and decisions that the intelligent system completes to produce a specific output. This can be translated in what we call an intelligent cognitive architecture. Creating cognitive architectures, though, is complex. We need to enable a dynamic way to feed it, complete it, and iterate it. We do this through frequent testing and co-creating with people. We have developed a UX prototyping sandbox using GenAI, knowledge bases, and APIs that allow us to create fully functional prototypes in a matter of hours. In this way, we can co-create with users and SMEs very early in the process, enabling better, relevant, and responsible user experiences while accelerating the time from idea to launch.
Thank you, Paula. Let's not forget about the context. If you're not getting it right from the beginning, then you will transform a problem into the future. Let's now go to Elisa. We have more than ever access to the world of information. How do we now obtain quality out of the universe of knowledge?
Going a bit more in depth on how we build intelligent systems, this is our cognitive architecture, having on top the interaction layer, that is the interface with the user. At the bottom, we find the information layer, where we collect all the information dynamically curated, for instance, in vector databases, that we need to pass to the generative layer as a context. Here, our LLM acts as a decision-making engine to best respond to user and interact with other tools and systems from the computational layers, for example, calculators and APIs. It is clear that relying on foundations models is not enough for solving specific tasks. Prompt engineering is essential skills for harnessing the potential of large language models. By understanding the principle of prompt engineering design, AI practitioners must become proficient in creating prompts that are clear, context-rich, specific, and concise. Mastering prompt engineering will play a crucial role to properly leverage the 4 layers of our cognitive architecture. Users often have unique requirements, and prompt engineering allows for tailored interaction with the AI system, catering to individual preferences and goals. Good prompt engineering can also save time and cost by limiting the number of interactions, as well as mitigating the risk of GenAI system producing harmful, biased, or otherwise undesirable content. As we will also see the cost of fine-tuning decreasing, prompt engineering should also be ready to tap into domain-specific and automated prompts, leveraging other AI models to learn how to generate better prompts based on user interaction and feedback. Crucial is the development of standardized metrics for evaluating prompts to improve best practice and lead to better monitoring and quality control within the life cycle of such GenAI solution. And that's what we call GenAI Ops. Because of course, we cannot control what we cannot track and monitor. We see nowadays companies trying out GPTs or other models, changing overnight prompts and model parameters such as tone and temperature in the attempt to control model response. However, it often results impossible to replicate the behavior due to an unstructured trial and error procedure with lack of automated and repeatable workflow. So, versioning of prompt is a must along with data and model registries. This is just an example to emphasize the need to tackle operations and governance aspects along the entire life cycles of GenAI solutions. The iterative nature of our framework accounts for governance, compliance, and responsibility, which targets at monitoring end user as a first line of defense by implementing measures like code of conduct, introducing control at the user interface level to prevent non-compliant use of LLMs, ensuring that GenAI systems are running on a secure infrastructure and services from our trusted cloud provider, and establishing policies and process to control design, development, and deployed through drift detection of data and models. In phase 3, proper GenAI Ops across the 4 layers will ensure scalability of GenAI solution in production scenario.
Thank you, Elisa. Prompt engineering is more than engineering. It has to do a lot with human science. We all need to become students again, as the concept of the research question will be leading in the quality of the answer. Let's now go to Noah. To adopt this technology in the enterprise, we need to do it in a responsible way. Noah, can you tell us a little bit more about this?
Responsible AI is about implementing principles and best practices for building safe, secure, and trustworthy AI systems. Think of hallucinations, bias, copyright infringement, personal data breaches, and other potentially harmful risks associated with the adoption of generative AI. At Cognizant, we avoid this by focusing on identifiable risks and putting in place guardrails for trustworthy generative AI. We follow the now agreed EU AI Act's guidelines for ethical AI development, which is centered around people, transparency, and responsibility. And this includes responsibility with regard to the environment. We proactively conduct risk assessments to evaluate whether foundation models and their data sources qualify either as minimal, limited, high, or unacceptable with regards to the EU AI Act risk levels. The outcome of this assessment determines whether a low-risk model, for example, that improves employee productivity by automating regular tasks might not require the same depth of safety measures as a high-risk classified model that takes decisions or triggers actions affecting large-scale network systems. Transparency and information provision to users is a key requirement outlined by the EU Guidelines for Trustworthy Artificial Intelligence. Also known as the 7 Principles of Ethical AI, the requirements include human oversight, technical robustness, data governance, transparency and information provision to users, accuracy and cybersecurity, as well as record keeping. Usually, these come in the form of instructions for use and technical documentation. We, however, leverage privacy-enhancing technologies and reviews by subject matter experts from our privacy, cybersecurity, and ESG practices to implement these principles. The new technologies help with automating data governance measures and keeping appropriate levels of performance to ensure interoperability, corrigibility, safety, and cybersecurity requirements are met through the lifecycle of a large language model. To ensure privacy, transparency, explainability, and contestability requirements are fulfilled, such operationalization of trustworthy generative AI guardrails is especially important in the context of prompt engineering, where human intervention might be necessary, and in view of the fact that the outcomes of these models can evolve or at best can be harder to predict at creation. Ultimately, it's about trust, and trust is crucial. It's about building trust on the one hand with regulatory stakeholders by ensuring compliance with industry standards, national and other applicable requirements. On the other hand, it is building trust with business stakeholders by ensuring ownership, ensuring transparency, and downstream compliance. We conduct regulatory canvassing, design review, and runtime monitoring to ensure regulatory requirements, including technical specifications for testing and engineering, as well as distributed responsibilities, are sufficiently captured and complied with. This includes documentation for audit and reporting purposes. So, as you embark on your exciting generative AI journey, where real-world impact on specific groups and issues is defined not just by the developer of the generative AI model or system, but also in its implementation within a specific application, we are best placed to help you tame the beast, as we call it in technology speak.
Thank you, Noah. Our approach to generative AI is rooted in a human-centric design for products and services. This means that we take a comprehensive view of interaction between people, technology, and its context to make solutions that are inclusive, relevant, and impactful. This requires a deep collaboration from a multidisciplinary team. Data scientists, business analysts, designers, and engineers need to work together throughout the full end-to-end process, providing knowledge and insights at speed. Moving from experimentation to production in the deployment of generative AI involves the transition from developing and testing cognitive solutions to deploying them into the real-world context. Through experience, Cognizant have found that there are 5 rules of thumb to consider when making the transition. 1. Organizations need to document and version control the generative AI reference architecture, as this provides a structured and systematic approach to managing change and complexity in the development and the deployment of generative AI solutions. 2. A phased personalization roadmap should be built. Personalization refers to the use of AI to tailored content, recommendations, or experiences to individual users based on their behavior, preferences, or other characteristics. These models should be refined. 3. Establish an observability evaluation framework involving performance, benchmarking, and validation. This promotes transparency and trust in the AI systems and provides a tangible evidence of its performance and efficiency. The 4th rule of thumb: to consider and define and implement a data management roadmap for unstructured data. Because this unstructured data, such as text, images, or videos, can often hold valuable insights that fuel the generative AI models. However, this data can be challenging to manage due to the lack of predefined format. So having this roadmap in place provides a strategic plan for how this data will be collected, stored, processed, and used. And the 5th rule is to define the combination between context and private information in relation to each of the use cases. Because the context often determines how an AI system should respond or behave, while private information represents how sensitive data should be handled to ensure safety and regulated compliance.